I'm continuing with the part where we were discussing the meaning of the model. So the when a worker thinks he's like to get a good wage offer or offers multiple offers, uh, his reservation wage one will be higher. So reservation one is not the wage he needs to get to work; it's rather the wage he will stop, as I said, stop the job search process. And if I think I'm able to earn much more than the money I'm able to, I need to start working, then I will continue my job search process because I think, well, I don't need that much money, but if I can get that more money, then why not, basically. So how can we put the model in use? We have already discussed the worker model. If the cost of job search process is too high, or if jobs are available well, and also there's a possibility for workers to get that job, but if either cost is too high or the probability of getting that job is too low, for that worker, and those probabilities depend on also the conditions of that worker, not only the outside conditions. In that case, a worker might not look for a job, even though if a job would be offered for him at a wage he or she could get, he or she would accept it. So the job search process pretty much explains the discouraged workers case in the labor economics. I mean, the people who would work but not looking for a job. Um, Another case is the discrimination, basically. Discrimination is a topic we will fully explore in the next week, but not in microsense actually. In microsense we will discuss also a little bit um, different explanations, but job search process itself gives an explanation also, and that explanation is basically because of the individual characteristics, because the job search cost might be too high. Basically, um the or maybe connections are low, so they could not get easily news of jobs that are proper for them, which might decrease the probability of them to find job where they are more productive. Uh, the workers that are belonging to certain groups, certain ethnicity, certain gender, certain culture, maybe neighborhood, or coming from a certain cities, they might not be for them. Well, having a longer job search process might be more risky, and as a result, they might rather forced to accept jobs with low wages. And that's thing about them. I mean, this I mean, this inability or this lack of power might also let the companies, when they face with those workers who belong to that particular group with less power, to continue for job to look for a job where they are more productive. I mean, that might on average decrease the wage they got even for the same job, well, from the same job, compared with the wage they give to them, well, other ethnicities or other gender or other groups. Um, so these people might also be the ones that are working in the places where productivity is relatively lower, and they might be the ones that are actually allow those places run. Um, so it's also possible. I mean, if in general the people of these groups are paid relatively low wages, in that case, I mean, this will further back lower the ability of the people within those groups to find jobs with high where they can get high wage, where they are more productive, or even because the group has not that much ability. Well, the employer might just say, okay, if he does belong to this group, probably this person will be willing to pay work for a lower wage. And as a result, since if the employer start to judge all of the people from that group in that way, in that case, even the people with relatively more ability to have a longer job search process have, well, for them, it's less probable to find a job which will pay them high wage. Note here, the part of this low wage can be explained by the fact that those people might be accepted disproportionately go to the jobs offered by companies with low productivity, but also even the companies that normally pay to the workers with a particular level of productivity a higher wage normally might pay lower wage to these groups because they know the job search process for these people are more costly for them. In a way, the companies might have also a higher monopoly power over these people from these groups. Even when members of these groups have the same wealth level compared with the other groups, because at least the possibility to find a job is over. And if companies know that they have in general a higher bargaining power over these groups, they might act accordingly also. So now we can discuss a particular type of function. You can look in detail of it. I will just introduce you the function that's called unemployment hazard function. It is showing basically, well, the possibility or probability of staying unemployed for a worker who is looking for a job, or the other way around, probability of finding a job. Well, it looks how this probability will change as the worker stays longer unemployed. Here, of course, when you consider the primary model, where we keep the payoffs and the cost and interest rate or discount rate constant, as time passes, the reservation rate was expected to fall. Although for an individual who was actually who is looking for a permanent job, that fall might be, at least initially, not that drastic, very little. More or less, we could assume that the reservation rate remains constant. Although in real life, the wealth that person has might shrink, and which might actually let that person be more reluctant, more willing to accept a relatively lower wage paying job. Also, social status of the people who don't have job also might be low, which might also be a reason for that person to not continue the job search process over a certain period. In general, probability of accepting a job, getting a job, is expected to be higher as the unemployment period increases. Of course, this is true for if the relative quantities of the skills, the probability of finding a job, remains the same. If as skills decrease, I mean, the probability of finding a job also decreases. Even if reservation wage one decreases, the potential wage the person is able to get also decreases. So in the end, I mean, the probability of finding a job, and being accepted and accepting that job might still stay the same or get lower. What happens in the real world? In the real world, actually, mostly this is the hazard rate, which means actually you might think probability of finding a job, it is decreasing. Although there are irregularities. The 25th week, 4th week, these are the successive times when the unemployment insurances expire, which means, I mean, the money unemployed people get from the state won't anymore come. And those are the periods people are most likely to find a job, and then you have a decreasing function. Maybe people mostly wait this time to find job, basically. That might be the reason, I mean, probability of finding job decreases as you go, as length of unemployment increases. Skill degradation is certainly potential reason for this decrease. Although another important reason might be, and this is why you should be careful while interpreting these results. Well, the most productive people might have already found jobs here. So actually, as we go down, we are not talking of same people. Actually, the group of people who are unemployed, as you move right, basically, might have less and less skills, basically, and that might be the reason also why this function is downward sloped. But this is an interesting relation to look at and discuss, and the reason is also, we might discuss also the reason why this is downward sloped. Of course, unproductive can be one explanation. Another explanation might be that those people might not have connections to find jobs, look for jobs. I mean, it's that jobs are not in a market you can go and get them. Actually, you need also find certain ways to find them. Get interview of even the simplest jobs. Those connections can be important. Okay. So this is alternative explanation. I mean, if you look for a job for a longer period, you might be discouraged. So your effort to find job might decrease, even though you might be continuing to find the job, basically. So which one of these hypotheses are true? We need to do further research to find it. Now, we can go to a different type of variable, which is more macroeconomic variable, but it is kind of shows well, an important variable which shows how the dynamic structure of unemployment works. Basically, I mean, you have a labor force, and that labor force is some people enter to this labor force, some people exit, some people find jobs. Well, some people find jobs, and some people, I mean, some new people enter to the labor force, and some new jobs are created, and some people are fired from the jobs. Some people are actually some jobs are open in that way, and some people find jobs, basically. And as I said, there are also people exiting and entering the labor market. So here, especially the unemployed people are created by people who are fired and who are entering to the labor market. But unemployment is the thing that reduces the unemployment is the people who actually find jobs, or the employers who find workers.